Um, Happy Friday. I'm going to start with this Donald Trump Parasite story. Um, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. Now, I don't really watch the Academy Awards. Um, I find it kind of bland, and I find it kind of strange. It's just weird. You get a bunch of celebrities and actors in the same place. I'm not really big on it at all in terms of watching. Some years I'm more invested than others, but my investment is never really that high. Um, but anyway, let's go on and get into it. So Donald Trump criticized, uh, he criticized Parasite. Um, Let me go on and this is from Ap.news.com. President Donald Trump is apparently not a fan of Parasite. His biggest complaint being that the movie was made in South Korea. Trump started talking about the Academy Awards during a campaign rally in Colorado Springs, Colorado on Thursday. Parasite was named Best Picture, becoming the first non-English language film to get the top honor. What the hell was that all about? Trump said. We've got enough problems with South Korea with trade. On top of that, they give them the best movie of the year. Was it good? I don't know. Neon, the U.S. distributor for the subtitled film, shot back on Twitter, understandable, he can't read. The audience booed when Trump mentioned the Academy Awards and then cheered when he said, can we get Gone with the Wind back, please? Sunset Boulevard? So many great movies. Parasite tells the story of how a family of four unemployed people living in a slum basement apartment comically infiltrates a wealthy family residing at a luxurious mansion before things unravel violently and tragically. And that's really it to the article. Now I just want to ask people. I just want to ask people, and I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest. Did you see Parasite? Did you have any interest in seeing the movie? Okay, if you did you like it? How did you feel having to read the entire movie? These are just questions. I did not see Parasite. I didn't really know what it was until after it came out. I don't know anyone who saw the movie. But I thought it was kind of interesting that I gotta be honest. I don't care that it was made in South Korea. I don't care. I thought Joker had it in the bag. I really did. I mean, when Joker came out, you heard more stuff about Joker than you did about Parasite. I think Joker. I don't think anyone thought Joker wasn't gonna win, because the movies that were up for nomination, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Little Women, Ford vs. Ferrari, Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, The Irishman, and Marriage Story. Okay, so you had all of those. You had all of those. Okay. So I thought if it wasn't going to be Joker, I was like, okay. I was like, they may give it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. My third option was, okay, they're going to give it to The Irishman. My fourth was Little Women. My fifth was Ford vs. Ferrari. I'm going to keep going down the list. And Parasite to me was like number 8, and Jojo Rabbit, which I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. I had that as ninth. I mean, Parasite won the night. You know, congratulations to them. But I am curious. I am curious how they decide on who the winner is. I mean, how do you determine Best Picture? Is it the message? Because I looked stuff up. I was like, maybe it's based off, gross, how much money it made. But that wouldn't be it, because obviously Endgame would have killed all of these movies. But, 1917, they ranked 195th. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and these are grossings grossings that the movie has made. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ranked 18th. Parasite was 94th. Little Women was 46th. Ford vs. Ferrari was 26th. Joker was 9th. Jojo Rabbit was 103rd. So it doesn't have anything to do with earnings. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I'm not sure why they chose Parasite. I'm just not sure. And my question is, those actors and actresses that were at the Academy Awards, my question to them, in private, not in public, not on camera, nothing like that, in private, did you see the movie Parasite? I guarantee you, at least 85% would say no. I guarantee it. Not trying. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's with racism with people not really seeing Parasite. I mean, you may blame it. I mean, you may think that's it, but I mean, okay. Personally, here's my thing. I don't want to watch something and have to read the bottom of the screen. If you show a movie and you can't understand it and there's no subtitles, you would still be able to kind of understand what's going on. Just based off actions, facial expressions. You may not understand what it is they're saying word for word, but you could understand and follow the plot. Okay? But my thing is, okay, when I watch a movie, I want to sit and I want to, make it be an escape. And for me, I don't want to go and watch a movie. I don't want to go and read. That's me. This is just me. I hate subtitles. I love reading. I read all the time. But when it comes to watching things on TV, things on YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, I don't want subtitles. My brother and sister, they like anime. For what reason? I'm really not sure. I'm not really a big TV watcher, but when I do watch TV, I don't want subtitles. That's not what I want. But I'm just curious. Like, does anyone know how they really pick these movies and how they determine who's the winner? Because I just don't know. When I saw that Parasite had won Best Picture, I thought, like Trump said, I thought it was best. I thought they won Best Foreign Film, which would have made sense. But they won Best Picture, and I was like, wait, that's not Best Foreign Film? Parasite, of all these movies, this was the least talked about movie, like, I didn't hear anyone talk about Parasite. I heard people talk about Little Women. Jojo Rabbit, I heard people talk about, but I still didn't know what it was. After this, I'm probably going to look it up to actually see what it was supposed to be. The only thing I know about it is that it was supposed to be like a comedy. Like dark humor, I think. But I just thought Joker was just so out ahead of the competition this year. I said, the minute it came out, I said, it doesn't matter what movie comes out next. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what comes after this. Joker was just that good. I know one guy, he saw Joker, he said he's never seen a movie more than twice. He said he went to see Joker in theaters 4 times. He said it was that good. That's how good he said. I'm still kind of in shock that Parasite won. Do I care that it's made in South Korea? No, I don't. I don't really care. I don't really care where you make a movie. Now, I would prefer to be able to understand what's being said without having to read. Reading a screen for 2 hours, that's annoying. Because I would have just asked people, how many people, when they watch TV, want subtitles on the screen? Because that takes away from the picture. It takes up screen space. I'm like, you know what? Let me see it. Get the words out of the way. Let's show me. I think, to me, subtitles, I'm annoyed after 15 minutes. I hate it. That's just me. Congratulations for Parasite. I really thought Joker had it. And if they didn't get it, I would have been, I was absolutely shocked. That was another reason I was less invested in this one, in these Academy Awards, because I was like, oh, Joker's just gonna sweep. But Parasite is the one that swept. And I was just shocked. I was like, okay, well, if Joker somehow doesn't get it, Joker would have been the safest bet. Then I was like, okay, well, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because you got big names, you got Leo, you got Brad, you know, Margot Robbie, you got people that's gonna draw on the money, and people their movies just do well. Maybe not necessarily Margot Robbie with Birds of Prey, which was just an absolute disaster. But Leo and Brad, they don't flop. I can't think of any movie that they've done where it's flopped. I can't. Usually they do movies, people go and see it. That's why, they know how to get their money. Okay, so if they didn't get it, if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood didn't get it, I was like, okay, maybe The Irishman. You got it, De Niro, Scorsese. You got all these, Joe Pesci. I think it's either Pesci or Pesci. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. But you have great guys who are, old timers. They're classics. They're really good. They're very talented. Big names. I was like, okay, you couldn't have told me it'd be Parasite. You couldn't have told me. And I just seriously wonder how many people actually saw Parasite. Because I think that matters. How many people see a movie. Message is unbelievably important. It is. It's extremely important. But my question is, how many eyeballs did you get? The number of people who watched it matters. Because here's the thing. You can have a really, really great message, but if no one hears it, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's like let's say there's someone who wrote an absolutely amazing book. You write an absolutely amazing book and you never publish it. It's pointless. It doesn't mean anything. That's why when you create something, you need to publish it. You need to, make sure it's at its best and then you publish it. Holding on to something doesn't help. You make a great song, put it out there. Holding on to something, it's like, okay, no one cares. Your song may be absolutely incredible. Beat, rhythm, lyrics, everything, the harmony, just all the components of the song could be 10 out of 10. But if no one hears it, it doesn't matter. Let's say I'm a really great cook, but I only cook for myself. And I don't share my food with anyone else. My cooking really doesn't matter. How many people received what you created? That matters. Okay, so that's really it for that. I know there will be people who may listen to this and be like, oh my God, you're racist. It's like, if you come to that conclusion after what I've said, I mean, I really don't care, and that's really on you. But it matters. It just matters how many people see it. And to me, I wouldn't have voted for that because I don't want to read. To me, it takes away from, to me, if my attention is taken away from being able to focus on the movie and what it's telling me, I wouldn't rank that movie high. I wouldn't tell people to go see it. Even if it had a very great message. I'm not paying a ticket to go read. I'm not paying a ticket to go sit in front of a movie, in front of a big screen, to read. Words matter. The script matters. But I want to hear it and understand it from the actors and actresses. That's one thing that makes movies great. Can't really connect with them when you have to read what they're saying. You see them visually, but you have to read what they're saying. There's a disconnect. Anyway, good for Parasite. So, congratulations to them. We'll see who wins it this year. Okay, so that's that story. I'm gonna go to this 7-year-old who was wrongfully accused of bringing a gun to school. I hate these topics, but they do need to be discussed. So I was watching the news last night with my mom and dad. Before we were going to bed, we were just kind of sitting and talking and stuff like that. And this story came on. We were watching Channel 9 with, just stuff like that. And this story comes up about this 7-year-old boy who was wrongfully accused of bringing a gun to school. His backpack was searched, and it was found that there were only Valentines in the child's backpack. By the way, the child's name who was accused is Solomon. So I was like, oh, go on, man, like, do it. But there was no gun. So there was no gun. No one was in danger. Police questioned the child. The mother was not present. This just really is not a good situation here. Because here's the thing. This kid was accused, and by the way, the kid, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the kid was black who was accused. And I'm gonna say this. I think it matters that this kid was falsely accused. I'm not sure what happened to the kid who lied and said that, Solomon has a gun in his backpack. Okay, first of all, like, this is kind of a complicated situation, because except from the kid who said it, I can't quite understand what could have happened. So, I'm going to look at it from the police standpoint. Okay, the police are called, the kid tells a teacher, okay, Solomon has a gun in his backpack. The teacher is like, oh my God. Okay, it's happening. This is kind of what we've trained for. This is what these staff development days are for. Okay, I'm a little panicked. Okay, let me go and check his backpack. That naturally makes sense. No one disagrees with that. Safety of everyone matters. It matters. Okay. So from the parents, not from the parent, from the teacher's perspective, okay, Solomon, take me to your backpack. Where is it? Okay. Solomon gets his backpack. She opens it. She looks inside, goes through it. There's nothing in there except Valentine's cards. There is no gun. Okay. Obviously, she's gonna have to report this to just the fact that a non-incident incident happened. So she has to go up the chain of command and go to maybe an administrator, principal, and say, okay, this child was accused of having a gun, but it's not in his backpack. You know what? I'm gonna get into the article, and then I'm gonna continue my analysis of it from each perspective. Okay, Thea Marie Perkins says her 7-year-old son Solomon's civil rights were violated after he was wrongfully accused at his Sagaugus elementary school when a boy who bullied him told a teacher that he had a gun in his backpack. Solomon went to Tesoro del Valle elementary school on February 13th with a backpack full of Valentine's Day cards to pass out to his friends, his mother said. He was outside during a fire drill talking to a boy who had been bullying him when the boy ran to a teacher and said Solomon had a gun in his backpack. According to Perkins, the teacher immediately told the school's principal, who looked through Solomon's backpack. There were no weapons found, but administrators still called the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. My son said that he had a Nerf slingshot, Perkins said. My child is not allowed to play with weapons, nor is he allowed to play with guns. They're not anywhere in the house. She says that though Solomon was questioned by 6 deputies, no one immediately notified her. A staff member eventually called to tell her son was being detained, Perkins said. They had already violated my civil rights. They violated my son's civil rights. They sequestered him. They questioned him without me, she said. Solomon has special learning needs and is part of an individual education program that requires a paraprofessional to be by his side during class. But his mother says that person was talking to a teacher at the time of the incident. He likes to process information quickly. He has a lot of energy, his mother said. The 7-year-old plays basketball, soccer, and is a published author who has written a children's book called Solomon Socks. Perkins says the school is made up of predominantly white students and her family is one of the few African American families in the community. And here we go. You already know what I'm going to say. It's in the article. I probably don't even need to say it. She said she thinks this incident was a matter of racism where a teacher took the word of a white child who she says had been harassing her black son. I'm insulted. I'm offended. I've been disrespected. My civil rights have been violated, Perkins said. I cannot tolerate this. It has to stop. His mother says the school sent out a note saying, as many of you may be aware, we have had law enforcement on campus today. All of our students are safe and the school day is progressing as normal. However, Perkins said she is still waiting for a public apology from the Sagaugus Union School District to clear her son's name. All right. So that's the article, and this is from KTLA.com. By the way, they misspelled his name, which is a common way my name is misspelled when it is. Okay, here's the thing. The way Solomon is usually spelled, it is spelled mostly like it is in the Bible. Solomon. There's no A. It's all O's. Okay? Alright. That's just a side note. It says that they have his name multiple times in this, article. And it's misspelled every single time. Okay. So, here's where I'm going to go with this. So I already talked about the teacher's perspective. She goes and tells the principal. So supposedly she never checked the backpack. Okay, she goes to the principal. The principal looks in the backpack, finds that there's just Valentine's Day cards. Okay. Now here's the thing. We don't know if this bullying thing is true. We don't know. There's no evidence of it. There's none. So we can't really comment on the bullying thing. And what I hate is that I knew when I saw that it was a black kid, and on the news they said it was a white kid who called him out. I was like, oh God, here we go. And the mom was upset. She's like, they were talking to her on the news, and she was like, well, why? Okay, so what's going to happen to the kid who lied on my son? And I look at it and it's like, well, this just is not a good situation. I'm going to give the white kid, I'm going to try to cut him some slack here, okay? Here's what I'm thinking happened. Solomon said that he had a slingshot, okay? He says that he has a slingshot. Where's that part? He said that he had a Nerf slingshot. So what I'm thinking, the white kid he just hears slingshot. He goes to the teacher. He knows the rules of the school, and he says, whatever the teacher's name is, Miss so-and-so, Solomon has a weapon. That's what I'm thinking. It could have happened. That could have happened. All right. Then the teacher goes to the principal. The teacher goes to the principal. The teacher tells the principal what the white kid told her. She says there is a student. Supposedly Solomon has a weapon. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's my thing. The title of the article says, 7-year-old Sagagas boy wrongfully accused of bringing a gun to school. Okay, a slingshot and a gun they don't look alike. Okay, so now I'm going to go the other way. Let's say the white kid deliberately lied, or I'm going to say misheard what Solomon said. Okay. He hears it and he's like, okay, I'm going to lie and say that he has a gun. This is such a hard situation because, it's difficult. But here's what I'm trying to understand. They call the police, okay? Supposedly there are 6 people who questioned Solomon. Okay. 6, what is it, deputies? I think it's 6 deputies. 6, where is it? Yeah, she says that though Solomon was questioned by 6 deputies, no one immediately notified her. Now, we don't know if that's true, if she was immediately notified. First of all, I believe she should have been notified right then. She should have been called and they said, ma'am, we need you to come to the school now. And even if they didn't say that, just say, ma'am, the police are questioning your son concerning an accusation of him bringing a gun to school. All right. You guys know that I'm one of those people who I don't immediately point to racism. I hate doing it. It's not helpful at all. because you really can't prove if something is racist. If there's two people and they don't like each other and say they're different races, you can't really say that that's racism. You cannot like someone for a variety of reasons. So I don't want to point to racism here. But I'm going to admit that there is a small part of me that I try to suppress, where it's saying there's some racism going on here. I will admit that part of my brain is going off. And the thing is, you can't really prove that. You can't really prove that. So that's why I really suppress it. With him being questioned like that, I don't know what to really make of it. You have 6 people question him. I mean, I don't know. There's only so many ways you can phrase a question. I look at it this way. So you've shown that I don't have a gun in my possession. That was cleared up minutes after this accusation came. Solomon, let me check your backpack. Open the backpack. Put your hand through it. Move the valentines. Go through the different compartments of the backpack. No gun. So he does not have a gun on him. Okay, he gets questioned by deputies, and it's like, okay, I'm going to try to rephrase this question as many ways as possible in my head. Okay, the most straightforward one is, Solomon, did you bring a gun to school? Okay, Solomon, that's one question. Solomon, do you have a gun with you? That's 2 questions. Solomon, where did you put the gun? Solomon, does anyone in the house have a gun? Solomon, is there anyone who you would want to hurt? Solomon, is there anyone who is bullying you? So I'm getting a few questions. But if you have 6 people ask these different questions, probably by the 3rd one, I'm going to say this. 7-year-old me, I'd be glad that they didn't ask me, this didn't happen to me. Because I would be like, okay, let's just stop for a second. I would ask the person in front of me, the officer asking me, I'd be like, excuse me, officer, how many more questions do you have? How many more people are going to come in and ask me the same questions? Because, he's 7. Supposedly he has special needs. But you would be aware enough and cognizant enough to know, okay, something's happening here to where they either believe I'm lying, or they're trying to get more information out of me by asking me the same question from a different angle. It's like they're circling me, and instead of attacking straight on, they'll attack from my left, or they'll attack from my right, or they'll attack from behind me, or they'll attack from my my upper left, and then come that way. But I would be saying, okay, I'd be like, officer, I don't know how else to say it. There's no gun. And I also look at it this way. Okay, they have to protect the other students. They have to make sure no one is in danger. They have to make sure that there is no gun on campus. So that's a big issue. This is a big issue. The NAACP is in with this. God, I just hate these things. But I am curious what's going to happen. Did anything happen to the kid that accused Solomon of having a gun? Because there was no gun. So at some point, it's gonna have to go back down the chain, and it's gonna be like, okay, how did you guys hear that Solomon had a gun? So the police would talk to the principal will go to that teacher. That teacher should have gone to that student and brought him to the police. I think it's just that simple. Because this thing came from some place. This came from somewhere. This accusation, these words, this idea came from somewhere. And it came from this kid. So all you do, you just go back, you go down, you find out who it came from, which is really not that hard. And you go to that kid, you bring him, and you question him. But I'm going to say this. I don't know if they did do that. I don't know. I can only go by the articles that I've seen. And in every article that I've seen, and this is the only one that I chose to read to you guys, it's not, I believe the racism claims would decrease. Because here's the thing, if you do the same thing, if you do to one, if there's two people involved and you do the same thing to both, whether they're white or black, or whether they're male or female, or whether one's younger or one's older, if you have the same process, you can't really accuse them, you wouldn't be able to really accuse them of racism. If I were a parent and my son or daughter was accused by another child of committing, it's a crime. It's a crime to bring a weapon on campus. If you are accusing my child of committing a crime that is extremely serious, this isn't stealing lunch money. This isn't, stealing a pencil or a pen. This isn't that. This is, you are putting people in danger. And this is a crime. Okay, this is serious. So I, as a parent, would be like, first of all, I would be upset. I'd be like, okay, where's the kid who did this? Bring him in. Bring in his or her parents. And let's talk about this. That's what I would do. I think it has to be even all around. I'm gonna follow this story. They're probably not gonna talk about it in the news anymore. That's good hydration. They're probably not gonna talk about it in the news anymore, but they will probably look at this and say, but I definitely will be following this. But I have to be honest. If I'm, that's just what I would do as a parent. And I would be upset. I'd be like, why wasn't I contacted immediately? The second you called the police, I should be the next phone call. If not first. I should be one or two. And if you can't get a hold of me, call my spouse. That's just what I believe that's how it should be done. Don't call me while you're questioning my kid. This is just not a good situation. I'm not going to jump to racism here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that no one in this situation was racist. I'm going to go with the idea that this kid, that there was just basic miscommunication. That will be my conclusion without accusing anyone of racism or bigotry. That's going to be me. God, I hate these stories. I hate them. Okay. Now to my last story. These bullying things, man. I can't, man. This is according to, you guys have heard about that kid who has dwarfism. He's in Australia. And people are now doing a GoFundMe thing to get him to go to Disneyland. I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop. Do you guys remember the name Keaton Jones? We have to learn from our past. Okay? Remember, it was discovered. Now, there were a lot of people who looked really stupid when they just came to this kid's defense. We have to stop doing that. Just because there's an accusation, you don't rush to the aid and the help of the accuser. See, right here, I'm not talking about rape. I'm just talking about just allegations. Don't just go to the aid of the person. Don't go to the aid of the person who's just making an accusation. Because you don't know. It's just words and it's just a story. That's all it is at that point. Okay. Remember, Keaton Jones, he said, they make fun of me and stuff like that. Let me just refresh your memory, because how quickly we forget. I remember, I know one of them was like Chris Evans, and he was like, "Kid, you can come hang out with me." And then it was soon discovered that this kid wasn't exactly what he was supposed to be. We have to learn from this. We can't just rush to the aid of these people. All right, this is from Financial Times. This opinion from social media. Keaton Jones, a bullied boy in a Christmas tale that wasn't. Social media has turned on the American 11-year-old from Tennessee. It was a Christmas tale that touched a nation, and then it wasn't. It began with a video of Keaton Jones, a stub-nosed 11-year-old boy from Tennessee, crying in his mother's car as he asked, just out of curiosity, why do they bully? What's the point? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It was impossible to watch without feeling for him. I disagree. I added the I disagree part. Without feeling for him, as he recounted having milk poured over him and being taunted for being ugly and having no friends. Through his tears, there was a dignity and empathy. For a parent, there are few ordinary events that can tear at your heart as much as seeing your child being bullied. So many of us have, at least in a small way, sat in that car with an inconsolable child. So when his mother, Kimberly, released the video on Facebook, America stepped up for Keaton. Stupid. I added the stupid word. Whatever commentary is said, I'll let you know if it's me saying it. Okay. The social media gambit seemed a risky strategy. Since my school days, I've always thought disproportionate violence underrated as a response to bullying. But that was England, where guns are not sold in school vending machines, and in any case, my wife has always been at hand to ensure the kids ignored their father. I am not sure how many parents' first instincts would be to film their child crying and stick it on Facebook. That to me, now this is me talking, that to me was huge. Why are you posting it? This is a private matter. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about social media. When you put something on social media, you are trying to draw attention. You're bringing attention. And when you have tears involved, you want pity. You want sympathy. You want empathy. You want people to feel for you. And you want people to take your side. Stick it on Facebook. This back in the article. Even if he did apparently agree to the plan so that the bullies could delight in his distress. But initially she was vindicated. The web rallied to the boy. Celebrities, or their publicists, if one wishes to be cynical, were rushing to his side. Justin Bieber tweeted in support. Stupid. I added the stupid part. Chris Evans offered him tickets to the premiere of the new Avengers movie. Stupid. I added the stupid part. Tennessee footballers and cage fighters promised visits to stand beside him at school. Stupid. I added the stupid part. Even Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, sent his support. Stupid. I added the stupid part. Then, curiously, there was a crowdfunding page that collected $60,000 to help with his education. Stupid. I added the stupid part. Okay, so I'm going to go down. Okay, here's a few paragraphs down. And then, just as swiftly social media turned, people looked more closely at the family. The boy's mother once posted pictures of the family with a Confederate flag and a gun. The estranged dad is a white supremacist. African-American Twitter exploded with rage and allegation. The mom was a racist. The boy was a racist. In fact, he was a bully and had been using the N-word against black kids. The mom was a money grabber. The GoFundMe page was a scam. You know, people can be stupid. It happens often. We all have our moments of stupidity. You can't live long and avoid them. You will have them. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go to this story of Quaden Bales. He has had $121,000 donated to him through GoFundMe. Remember this, folks. Just because you see tears does not mean that the person is a victim. Don't associate tears with victimization. Or I should say with victimhood. Here we go. More than $121,000 in charity money has been raised to send a bullied Australian boy filmed in a viral video. Again, this was put on Facebook. Thousands of donors have chipped in to a GoFundMe supporting the vacation for Quaden Bales, 9, who was born with achondroplasia, a genetic order that results in dwarfism. The outpouring of support was inspired by a heart-wrenching video his mother posted of Quaden crying in the family car after another child at his school mocked him about his height. I wish I could stab myself in my heart, Quaden says through tears in the clip. I want someone to kill me. The page organizer, Brad Williams, wrote that he launched a fundraiser to show Quaden there is good in the world and claimed to be in touch directly with his mother, Yarika Bales. I'm setting up this GoFundMe to let Quaden know that bullying will not be tolerated and that he is a wonderful human being who deserves joy, Williams wrote. I want to fly Quaden and his mother to America, get them a nice hotel, and bring them to Disneyland. Yarika Bales originally showed the video to illustrate the effects of bullying and to get parenting advice from others. I want people to know this is the effect bullying has, she says in the video. This is what bullying does. All it takes is one more incident and you wonder why kids are killing themselves. The clip has been viewed more than 15 million times since Bales uploaded it to Facebook on Tuesday, rallying encouragement from across the globe. Sending love to you from Minnesota, wrote one contributor. You are an amazing boy. You don't really know that because you don't know this kid. With so much to share with the world. Another added, we love you, Quaden and family. Have a great trip from Somerset, Massachusetts, USA. Back home, athletes from the Indigenous Australian Professional Rugby League invited Quaden to lead the Indigenous All-Stars team out onto the field for an upcoming match. Just want to wish you all the best, brother, said Latrell Mitchell, one of the team's players in a video to Quaden. We know you're going through a hard time right now, but the boys are here. We've got your back. We're here to support you, bud. That is the end of the article. Now listen, man. We don't know that this kid is actually being bullied. People may be listening to this and like, oh my God, this guy is crazy. He's mean. He doesn't care about people. He was probably a bully himself. And I really don't care what you think about my opinion right here. We don't know what happened. Here's the thing. There's more. It's a common quote, and we hear it often. And it was kind of, don't judge a book by its cover. We've heard that. There's more to something than meets the eye. We don't know if this is true. Now, I will say this. Kids can be cruel. That's true. I will concede that. But here's what I'm saying. We can't just jump to the aid of people that we believe are in need or are indeed being victimized. We can't just do that. We have to find out stuff. We can't just be making videos and claims and just saying, look at this, look, we have to be careful of that. False allegations are a thing. Remember that story I talked about where that black girl accused these 3 white boys of like grabbing her and dragging her across the playground and pulling her hair out? You had black people up in arms. Her family was like, oh, they're a bunch of racists. And then it turned out to not be true. The family looked really, really, really stupid, and they probably immediately pulled her from school. If they were smart, changed their names and went to a different state and tried their best to start all over. So I'm not saying that this kid is lying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that before we go with this idea, let's hold off on judgment. Don't just send your money. Find out about these people. You just do some research. Go deeper than the surface. Because here's another thing you have to remember on social media. People show you what they want you to see. That's not just true on social media. That's true in life. You meet people, they present to you what they want you to see, what they want you to know about them. That's it. That's what they want with you. No one's going to go out and just show the worst side of themselves. We go out, we get dressed up, we look good, we wash our face, we brush our teeth, we put, clean, ironed clothes on if we can. And we do our best. We do our best. And we present to people what we want them to see. This mother and this child presented to the world what they wanted the world to see. We don't know the reasoning behind this. According to the mom, she just said, I want people to see the effects of bullying. I want people to know just how powerful bullying is. And we wonder why kids are killing themselves. I'm going to say this. Bullying has always been around. It's always been around. I believe, and here's the thing. Now, bullying has evolved, and it's evolved to different ways. There's more ways to bully now than ever. I will say that. But we as a society, I say it often, our world has gotten to a point where it's so good and we have a lot less problems that we are more sensitive in other areas. For a lot of time in history, people were concerned about, man, I sure hope that wild animal looking at me doesn't eat me. I sure hope, I get my next meal. When is my next meal? I hope I make it through the night, and I hope I don't freeze to death. Those were issues that a lot of the world had daily. And then as technology improved and as life improved, medicine got better, travel got better, a lot of things improved. And the things, we didn't have to worry about wild animals. Most people don't have to worry about, man, when am I going to next meal? That, especially in America, okay? Now, there are still things people are sensitive to, but now it's like, okay, our sensitivity is at just a much higher level to where the slightest thing can throw us off. I remember being in elementary school, I would, be the butt of jokes sometimes. Black jokes. And I really, I didn't care. Because here's the thing. It's a joke and it's like, what, okay, so what does that actually mean? What does it matter? There's a quote by, Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones. And, I don't have the exact quote, but it's kind of about taking what people use against you and using that as armor. So that way, when they attack you with that, it doesn't hurt. It's not an attack. It's just like water off the back. And I believe this kid is going to grow up one day and he's going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm short. So what? Yeah, I'm disproportional. So what? I've heard that all my life. I've come to the point now where it doesn't mean anything. So anyway, that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. This episode, okay, it was under an hour, which is, good, cause I try my best to keep things under an hour. But, I want us to use our brain. I want us to think about things. I don't want us to just jump to conclusions. It's very easy and it's the path to least resistance. Just seeing what's presented to you and just accepting it for what it is. When you watch the news, don't just go with that. Because again, people share with you what they want you to see. You have to dig deep to find out more. No one's going to tell you everything. I talked about it earlier this week. When you meet somebody, okay, they're going to present their best self to you. You have to dig and you have to ask questions and you have to do research on this person. Where have they lived? Where do they go to school? Do they have a degree? Do they have a real degree? Do they have a job? What do they do when they get angry? Do they drink? Are they addicted to something? These are things that you have to ask because you have to find things out. Don't just accept what's given to you. Don't just accept what's laid before you. Don't do that. Just dig. And, you'll see things in a very different light. Don't stop just jumping to the aid of people who you believe, or I should say, who present to you that they are being victimized. Don't just do that. Rape allegations, bullying allegations. People who claim that they're trying to help somebody. Don't just immediately go for it. Because it's not healthy. People, here's the thing, people do what you allow them to do. And we have to be careful. We just have to be cautious of what we do. I hope you guys enjoyed these episodes this week. You will hear me on next week.